In today's video, we're gonna be ripping 1989 Fleer Glossy. This is a factory sealed set and it's limited in production and it has a really expensive Ken Griffey Jr. card in it. If you can gem it up, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a potential gem. If you're ready to watch, I'm ready to rip. Let's go. Well, this is the box and it looks sealed. It's a little sus because it's real loose. Let's go over to the spreadsheet and look at some numbers. So we're over here, we can look at Fleer, the regular Fleer. We're not gonna be opening any of that. I have the Fleer version, but you can see that in a pop 9, there's 2,700, 55% gem rate. In a pop 10, there's 4,669, about a 9% gem rate. Total population of the regular Fleer, 50,455 with a 64% gem rate. But we're opening Fleer Glossy today. And at the asking price for a PSA 10, if you can even find it, around $8,600. I mean, these cards are really rare. Look at, in a pop 9, there's only 602, and that's a 38% rate of getting a 9, but in a pop 10 there's only 118 of these things in existence. This is the lowest chase card that we're doing except for the finest, but 118 of them, super rare, only an 8% gem rate, total population of 1,569. So to get a 9 or a 10, it's actually not that hard. 46%, close to 50%. And this cost me $445 to get this sealed set. So this is it. Let's rip it open. In my opinion, the price of $445 is not that bad for an extremely valuable card. And I'm just hoping that this is the factory sealed job. It really doesn't look like it, but maybe we can find out a little bit more on the inside. If it's not factory sealed, I'll send it back. I don't know how we can even tell. The top is just a little bit loose. And we've got some cards that have escaped. You know, it actually does look sealed because we've got a little bit of fluff on the edges of these cards, and if they were pulled out, I don't know that you would see that. But maybe you would, I don't really know. Also, you've got the stickers included in here. I don't know where the Ken Griffey Jr. is located inside. Hopefully it's somewhere in the middle. But let's just get to it. I'm a little nervous about these cards that slid around here. Hoping that they aren't who we're looking for. We're gonna try to spot the difference between the glossy and the regular. I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna move this over. Okay, so I've got my example of the Ken Griffey Jr. card. This is the regular from when I was a kid. I didn't even have it soft sleeve, just put it right in the top loader. All right, let's compare. You know, you can see just a standard piece of cardboard, and then here's the glossy. Oh, look, you can see the light refracting off of it, or bouncing off of it, and that doesn't really happen in this one as much. Definitely glossy. Are the numbers different? No, but it is blue on the back. The glossy is blue on the back, and it says collector's edition. So that's how we know that we got the real deal. And some of these are pretty rough, but we're looking for the usual suspects. Sheffield, Biggio, Randy, Smoltz. Anything of value I'm gonna attempt to send away just because this stuff is pretty rare, pretty hard to come by. And I'm glad that they aren't sticking together really bad, because that's one thing I was worried about, is these cards just sticking together because they are glossy. There's a little light stickage happening here, but nothing too serious. Just really light. Oral Hershiser. I'm gonna put just anybody of name over there. Eckersley, Winfield. There's a ton of Hall of Famers in the 89, all of the 89 stuff. Real light sticking, and I don't really think that's that big of a deal, because they're not sticking like sometimes you get bricked cards a lot of times when you're going back, especially in the 90s when they put a lot of glossy stuff. Okay, here we go. A Cal Ripken Jr. Not too bad. It's just got a little piece of fluff up there. It's not too bad. I think basically any Hall of Famers are worthy of sending away. Just going to put it in the good card pile, and we'll evaluate at a later point. And there will be a follow-up to this series about any of the cards that I submitted, if they graded out, what they graded out. I'll probably do a live reveal. This is going to be months in the making, though. I'm impressed. These cards are pretty centered, and that's a big deal. The centering was a big deal, big issue, and these look pretty good. I can't complain. This could be the first big hit, because it's one thing just to get the card, and it's another to get it in a gem, which is what this chase is pretty much all about. It's mostly me adding to my collection, padding my collection. But what I really want is one of these big cards, at least one. I mean, I'd love to get the Bowman Tiffany in a gem. That's a game-changing card right there. That's a card that could be worth, just with inflation and how things go, you could have a $100,000 card on your hand in 20 years. These cards are just random in here. They're not in any particular order, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. You don't know where your guy is going to be. All right, here's a Hall of Famer, Jack Morris. Look at that. Look at that. It looks pretty centered. I'm happy, as far as I can tell. How crazy would that be if I got one of the sets that were actually centered? All right, here's another Hall of Famer, George Brett. All right, here's a good rookie, Biggio. Look at that thing. Look at that. It looks good. Looks really good. I don't know about top to bottom. See on the back. Digging that. There's that Edgar Martinez. That one's OC. All right, we got Gary Sheffield here. Looks pretty off center. A little heavy on the right-hand side here, but that's a good one. We'll be potentially sending that one in, because you can still get a good grade on it. Even if it's OC, they'll just put a little OC on there. If everything else is perfect, you could still get like a 9 OC potentially. Should have just done that first. Loosened them all right up. There's an Ozzie Smith. Got potential with this card. OC. Wade Boggs. That is centered. That is centered. Looks good. It's a good looking card. All right, we got the Canseco. Not too bad. Little OC, but not too bad. Tom Glavine. That's pretty sweet. Julio. Barry Larkin. Andre Dawson. Alan Trammell. That's not too bad. A little heavy on the right. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that Nolan. Not too bad. Not too bad. You know, a lot of these you see just this real heavy right side and just a real thin left side. But that is not bad, and that I probably will send. Oh, please don't be in this back part. You want to see what these are all about? We got all of the stickers, baby. Yeah. That's pretty sweet. 40-40. And our Bill Ripken. Look how off-center this one is. It's so OC. This is a iconic card because he put a dirty word, or somebody, his brother maybe, put a dirty word on the bottom of the bat, and they had to black it over. But this one's really OC. I'll add it to my Billy collection because I've got two. Now that makes 3 different Bill Ripken F-face cards. Oh, that's a good one. Look how centered that bow is. I might have to send that one away for sure. That's a nice looking card. All right, here's a Randy rookie. Here we go. It's a little OC. A little heavy on the right there, but that's a pretty cool card. Any Randy fan would love to have a Fleer Glossy rookie. There he is. Oh, it's so off center. Oh no. The problem. This is the problem with these. Look at that. I'll still send it away. I'm sending this one away regardless. Wow. Did I cut the sleeve? Well, there he is. Let's compare. Back looks okay, actually. All right, well, put him on the stand. That's the notorious problem with those, is being way off-centered. But we got a lot of other cards in here that have potential. This stack right here is pretty nice, and I'm gonna consider sending most of them away. Look at that Mattingly. Not too bad. Schmidt. A little heavy on the right. Why do the Griffeys all gotta be miscut or off-centered? It's disappointing. Tim Raines, very well centered. We get the Tim Raines that's like perfectly centered. It's about how it goes. Wally Joyner, centered. I kind of want to buy like 10 of these tins and just see what happens, but I'm not going to because all the other ones were very expensive. I got a good deal on this one. And all the other ones were probably at least like 20% more. And we got a Barry Bonds that looks to be nice. Look at this. It's like perfectly centered. Take it. Here's a Roger, little OC left. Kevin Mitchell. Mark McGuire, little OC. Ricky for the Yankees. Pretty good. Pretty good. Got a Yount. It's pretty OC. Dante rookie. Tony Gwynn, OC. There's Galarraga. All right, there's a Smoltz. How we looking? How we looking? Sometimes it's easier for me to look into the screen here to determine. It looks a little heavy on this right side, but it's not that bad. And the last pile, here we go. Harold Baines. Quite centered. Nice glasses, guys. Why is everybody wearing these huge? I know it was this style. Harold Reynolds. That's all you got to do for these old sets, some of them, is you just give them a little push like that and they release. Doc. The Goose. Gibby. Okay, that's it. Man, we got quite a nice pile here of good cards. And I think between this whole stack, with all of it, there should be something nice to send away. Let's go and review the good card pile here. We got Gibson, Gooden, Baines. I should probably separate them into like centered. I mean, they're all kind of nice. The Smoltz, it's like a real good one. Dante, Yount, Ricky, McGuire, Mitchell. The Hall of Famers are That is a beauty right there. Joyner, Rain, Sandberg. That Mattingly's pretty nice too. It's a little too OC though. Randy, definitely got to send that one away. The Bow looks good. Not good enough to send. Fisk. The Fisk is nice. Potential. The Ryan is pretty nice. It's a tiny bit OC right to left, but I think I might send that one away. The Boggs is nicely centered. I don't know what kind of market there is for Boggs, but we'll put that in the maybe pile. Love that Ozzy. Sheffield. OC. Nope. Nope. Not bad. Not bad on the Biggio. Might have to send that one. The Brett, probably not going to cut it. Jack Morris is pretty nice. Ooh, what the heck is this guy? Yeah, the Maddox is pretty nice, but there's something going on up in that top right corner. I don't know about the Cal. It's pretty close. I'll think about it. All right, so this is the good pile. Cal, Biggio, Boggs, Ryan, Fisk, Bow, Randy, Bonds, and Smoltz. Pretty sure this is a plus EV situation here. But the big one, got the Griffey, way OC, still gonna probably send it in, and we'll have to see. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Topps Tiffany Traded. I will catch you all later.